Hi friends, welcome to today's episode, and today's topic is going to be on perceptions. So perception shapes the way we see the world and interpret our emotions. Our perceptions are formed by the people we hang out with, our past, some of our biases, and then our emotions. God is constantly challenging us with respect to our perception, encouraging us to align the way we think with His truth. See, all through scripture, we see where God is trying to pull us away from the way we think. A good example can be found in the book of 2 Kings chapter 6, when Elisha's, verse 15 to 17, Elisha's servant was petrified. When he saw the armies coming, he was petrified, he was afraid of what he was seeing, because he was seeing with his physical eyes and not with his spiritual eyes. But Elisha, who was in line with God, aligned with the will of God, who had an insight to what God was doing, prayed a prayer. He said, Lord, open his eyes that he might see. It wasn't as if he was blind, but spiritually he was blind, the servant that is. And after he prayed that prayer, when Elisha's servant looked inward, he gained insight to the vast army that was with him, and he was able to calm down. The moral of the story is this: sometimes we are afraid of what is happening around us because of what we perceive, but in reality of it is, what we are going through in that moment, we may actually be protected by God from seeing the bigger picture. See, we get afraid, we are scared because we perceive something to be hard, to be difficult. But in that moment, how can you be so sure that God is not protecting you from harm? Another story I can give from the Bible where we can just see things from perception was when Samuel wanted to go and anoint the next king. All of the kings, all of David's brother before him came out. Because of their stature, their height, and how handsome they were, Samuel almost anointed them. But the Lord said, no, I have not chosen these ones. These are not the ones I've chosen. These are not my people. This is not the king. And so God encouraged Samuel, stop looking at the outward, but wait till I encourage you to see. The way we perceive the world is different from how God sees the world. The way we perceive ourselves and others is different from how we ought to be seen. In other words, spend time in the Word, spend time praying, spend time looking inward. And I promise you, what you think or thought you saw will be different from what God will begin to show you. You can read a scripture today in the morning and you will get one interpretation. But when you take time to ask God, what does this mean and what must I do? And you open up yourself to Him, He will begin to download into you what He wants you to see in alignment with His will and His truth. Until tomorrow, many blessings.